Merry Christmas, or if you're like me, Merry Monday, with a little bit of holiday spirit. So in this video I want to talk about a couple things. First, about traps still being very much viable. Then about the defensive mechanics that I did not give a lot of thoughts before. Then I want to talk a bit about how economy for 6-link item is changing. And lastly, a couple more random things. I will include timestamps in video description, and also you should see them on the screen. So, traps. And actually today I was planning to do a build guide video for my ball lighting trapper. But I just kept playing it until like 2 AM in the morning, simply because I was surprised and even impressed that I am able to do maps that I could not do with my detonated build or my lighting tendrils build. I will try to do a build guide video tomorrow if I'm not too sick after I'll eat all this homemade cake. So for now I just want to present maybe a little different look at the traps. So traps have cooldown, while mines do not. And we tend to look like, we can spam mines as much as we want as long as we have mana. But we cannot do that with traps because traps have cooldown. But that only applies if you can face tank and just spam it. But since miners and trappers don't really have a leech and don't really have a reliable way to recover life while fighting, well, maybe except with Zerf's Last Breath Flask, you're not gonna be standing still and just tanking and spamming. You're still gonna keep moving. So you can consider this moving as a cooldown for your mines or just any other spells. For example, some boss has, let's say, 5 million HP and you can do 500,000 damage per second. So you think, that's gonna take 10 seconds to kill the boss, not that bad. But in reality, it's not like that. You're not gonna just face tank a more dangerous boss. And the fight may take 20, 30 seconds, even more. So the trap cooldown is not actually like a cooldown, but consider it as an opportunity to move and dodge dangerous attacks. Of course, it does not apply to all builds because some builds just can kill enemies in a couple seconds or just face tank everything. Also, with new Elder and Shaper items, you can now have multiple trap setups. So even if one of your traps setup goes on cooldown, you can still use other. Another thing about trap cooldown support jump, it gives no damage. Or does it? We are so focused on seeing numbers and seeing our damage increase with all the support jumps we add. But if you compare trap cooldown support gem with some other damage support gem and calculate your trap's damage per second, you will see that trap cooldown support gem is very close to almost any other damaging support gem. I will talk about this more when I do a build guide video about my trapper. Now on to next topic, also related to trapper, more specifically to saboteur. I did quite a lot of trappers in the past and never before have I used blinding assaults and born in the shadow ascendancy nodes. And oh my god, they are strong. It probably may not work for every setup, but in my case, I was using evasion, ES, cast and damage taken with enfeeble, and ball lightning, which does a lot of hits. So basically all the enemies were blinded all the time. And that means they have less accuracy. And because of born in the shadow ascendancy point, I do more damage to them and they do less damage to me, even spells. Especially combined with Tinker Skin and lots of trap triggers from enemies without chain reaction, I can tank quite a lot of things. And I'm just so impressed with this. I may do other builds and just use saboteur even for melee builds, just because this blind defense mechanics. So yeah, if you can get blind, if you can get some evasion and maybe even cast and damage taken with enfeeble, you're gonna be very tanky. And yes, it is focusing more on defensive than just damage, but still, most builds these days have quite a lot of damage anyway, so maybe focusing on defensive is right a good idea. Even if you're not playing saboteur, you can still incorporate blind into your other builds and just become more tanky. And on to the third topic. 6-link items may be permanently losing value. Of course, not in every case. So we got a Shaper and Elder items, which can be like a pseudo 6-link, even 7-link items. And all you need to do is 4-link it or 3-link it if it is one-handed weapon. That means some builds no longer need 6-link armor or 6-link two-handed weapon. As an example, I'm gonna take my trapper build. I am playing ball lighting, so what I need is some Shaper or Elder item that can give me something useful for traps. So I bought these gloves for 4 hairs. And spent another 4 hairs to craft life mod, which was low as possible. Anyway, so it gives me slower projectiles, which I really need for ball lighting, and it gives trap support gem. So basically it is a pseudo 6 link for less than 10 hairs. You cannot get a proper 6 link armor for less than 10 hairs. Well, unless you're buying 6 link and then gonna try to craft something good. Or maybe just try to roll your luck and get lucky and 6 link your armor, but still, that doesn't happen very often. Of course, certain builds that rely heavily on specific unique items, for example like Facebreaker, will not be able to take advantage of this, because you will not be able to replace your Facebreaker gloves with Elder gloves with faster attacks and chance to bleed or additional accuracy support or whatever you are building. So yeah, it's not gonna apply to all the builds, but majority of the builds are gonna benefit from this Elder and Shaper items. To be honest, I'm not sure if I like this, because getting your item 6 linked was very exciting and a big deal. But now, maybe I'll just use some gloves as pseudo 6 link, or maybe some helmet, or maybe a cool Shaper Elder one-handed weapon. So I don't know, maybe I am wrong, and maybe 6 link items will remain unchanged in value, but last topic is just a bit some random. With changes to Atlas and the new Shaper Elder items, I find myself wanting to farm maps more than just do builds and experiment with builds. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna play more viable builds that can actually farm Shaper Elder, well, maybe not Shaper himself, but still his items. And less builds like Flame Dash Totems. Still, I do like experimenting and trying old things, so I will try to do sort of non-meta builds, but make them viable. Well, at least more viable. Oh, and last but not the least thing, I wanted to say thanks to the Tarke Cat. I got a shout out in his video and yeah, that's unexpected nice gesture. So I guess I'm returning the favor. If you don't know who Tarke Cat is, you need to fix that. Because Bakelast Podcast is the best thing in PvE besides PvE itself. So yeah, go check it out. And that's it for now. I'm gonna continue trying stream daily, so you can catch me live on Twitch. Thank you for watching and see you soon.